All right. Hello, everybody. Hi. Hi, world. How are you? It is Friday morning for me here in today's sunny Vancouver. I'm coming to you from Vancouver. Hello, hello. Howdy. I'm getting a howdy. All right. Wow, you guys are talking about Weird Al Yankovic in the chat? Good for you. All right. A lot of our regulars are back, of course. The crew is here. Trey, hi. Abdul Manan is here. Cool. Good to see you. Diari, of course. Aaron is here talking about Weird Al. Victor, French Leo, Navjot, Melinda, Steve Lynn, Hitmans. Is it Hitmans or Hitmanz? Suede, Rosa Casiero. I could just sit here and read people's names for an hour. If you're new, let us know. Identify yourself if this is your first time in our class. I do see maybe some new names in there, and some old faithfuls, obviously. Rosas are here. I think I saw John in there. John Vidal is here. I think, John, you've been with us since the very beginning, yeah? All right. George Vincent Marcada, hello. Hiding Love Natty, hello. Okay. Carlos, this is your first class. Well, welcome. Welcome, we'll take care of you. Okay. Bushra from Bahrain. All right, Bahrain is in the house. Cool. People from all over the world. Many different time zones. For me, as I said, it is 9 o'clock in the morning, Vancouver time. Engel Kim, hello. Yeah, Friday morning, it's almost the weekend. Not yet, but we're getting there, right? And for anybody who's new, I am Shaun, and I'm going to be your teacher for the next hour today, okay? So yeah, in a moment we'll get started. But as I said, I'm live. I'm at the Canadian College of English Language in Vancouver, 6 p.m., where Smrt is, 9:30. For Nitesh, 9:30. How is that possible? How is it 9:30 where you are? I mean, I don't understand how that works, but that's fine. So we're going to jump in. If you have questions, if you're new, if you have questions, and you want to get them to me, just put your questions or comments in the chat. Obviously, keep your comments respectful to your fellow students, as most of you do. But yeah, put your questions in the chat, and I'll try to answer them as best I can. If they are connected to the lesson, if they're not connected to the lesson, I may not be able to answer your questions. We've got Turkey, we've got Russia, Floyd from Russia. All right. Omar's back. I think I saw Laos. Somebody from Laos in there? Philippines, cool. All right, guys, Chaminda's back. Hello. So let's jump into it. I'm just going to sit here reading people's names all day if I don't get this lesson started. So, of course, you guys were asking in the chat what we're going to be talking about today. So, we don't need any suspense. It doesn't have to be a mystery. Oh, that's not what I wanted. That's not what I wanted to do. Whoops, I think I do that every time. Every time. Okay, so we're going to talk about the first and second conditional today. Okay, last week we were talking about the second conditional. The week before we were talking about the first conditional. But I'm still getting lots of questions, kind of confusion. Sometimes the first and the second conditional makes students angry. They want to flip a table or throw coffee on their computer or something, right? Who's that guy? Yeah, I don't know who that guy was. Yeah? Yeah, I know. Too early for me to put the short video there, I know. So I want to focus on the differences between first and second conditional. I want to clarify some things, some kind of trouble with these two, kind of telling the difference between the two. It's confusing, yeah. I'm confused sometimes too. The first and second conditional is what we're going to be focusing on today. Okay, so if you guys have questions about the difference between the two, throw them in there. All right. Rosa, you got some slow internet today? That's too bad. Hi, Abdul. Okay. All right, so let's start. Let's start from where we left last week. Feels like yesterday, but last week we were talking about the second conditional, right? We were talking about the second conditional. I'm the master of confusing. The master of confusion? Yeah, that's me. All right, so here's second conditional, right? If I went to your city, what would you recommend that I do? And this is a good question for the chat, actually. If I went to your city, if I came to visit you, what would you recommend that I do? What would you show me? Where would you take me if I came to your city, right? Wally, this is your first class? Welcome. I didn't. Sorry, Abdul. All right. So, if I went to your city, what would you recommend that I do? Right. And this is the second conditional. Now, this is what we talked about last week. Right. We said if, that important if clause there. If I went, so we use the past simple tense with if, right? And then in the second clause, we use would and the base form verb. Okay, so past tense and would plus the base form. This is the second conditional. So I want some answers. What are you guys going to recommend? All right, so Omar, yeah, recommends the Kingdom's Tower. Okay. Nitesh would advise me to visit the Taj Mahal. Good, yeah, good advice. What about Navjot? He would suggest that I visit some historical museums. You would copy my brain. Okay, I'm gonna stay away. Right. If you invited me to Bahrain, would I accept your invitation? Well, are you going to pay for my flight? French Leo, yeah, go to Paris by night. Column Dog, you're in London, are you? Well, I am going to visit London in about 2 weeks. I'm going to be in London for a couple days. Visit the Eye. Okay. If I came to your countryside, you would recommend that I enjoy the sun. Okay. Aaron, you'd like me to visit Seoul? Well, I've been to Seoul, but it's been a very long time. Okay, so this is some, that's good. Sightseeing, Annie? Yeah, of course, sightseeing. So this, as I said, this is the second conditional, right? And we're looking at this, and the students, the main confusion that I've seen on the Facebook group since last week, and just in general, is why do we use the past tense, right? Students sometimes confuse themselves and think that this second conditional is referring to the past, right? But it isn't. This is not the past. And this is my first tip for you guys. Not my first conditional tip, but my second conditional tip is second conditional is not the past. It looks like the past, but it is not. Okay? We use it to talk about the present or the future. Now, again, students sometimes get angry and say, well, if it's not the past, why are we using past simple tense? Right? This is where it's confusing, and I understand that. That is confusing. Of course it is. However, we do this kind of thing in English with other tenses as well, right? With other verb conjugations or tenses. One tense can have several different uses, different functions, right? For example, we say, I am watching a movie, right? We say, I am watching to talk about right now, the present continuous, right? Present continuous with the ing. Now I am watching a movie. But we also say, I'm watching a movie later tonight, right? So this is, I'm watching a movie now. I'm watching a movie later tonight. So we use the same tense or the same type of verb, this present participle, ing, right? Yeah, he does look relaxed. I agree. He's relaxing tonight. Yeah. We use the same verb form, right? The same participle for two different times. We use the present participle to talk about the future. So, just like in the same way, we use the past tense to talk about the present in a hypothetical way. Okay? Hypothetical, right? And this is what we talked about last week. The second conditional is not the past, right? It's hypothetical. It's not real. It's imagined, as we said last week, right? So it's talking about now, right? Or maybe the future, but it's not real. And so we have to use the past tense because we need to use a different tense so that we can tell the difference between second conditional and first conditional, right? Because if I went to your city, what would you recommend that I do? This second conditional. This is this is hypothetical, and this is different in meaning from if I go to your city, what will you recommend that I do? Okay. All right. How are we looking here? I see lots of activity. You like my acting? Yeah. I get very animated in class as well. Here I know that I've only got so much space, right? And then my hands start to disappear. So in the classroom I'm jumping all over the place. Because English is crazy. Right. That is exactly right. English is crazy. And that's why I love it. Okay. So today, I really want to focus on this, the difference between, if I went to your city and if I go to your city, right? If I went and if I go. Okay. So this is the question that students ask. What's the difference between if I went and if I go? What's the difference between first and second conditional? So let's break it down, okay? Look at this delicious produce. Very nice. If I have time, I'll stop for groceries on the way home. Okay? If I have time, I'll stop for groceries. This is very common first conditional, right? That someone might say to, I don't know, I might say this to my wife before I leave work, right? Oh, we need some lemons and oranges. Okay, if I have time, I will stop for groceries on the way home. Okay, so this baby right here, this is first conditional. You've got if and present simple, right? Present simple plus will and base form. And this is what we talked about 2 weeks ago. Vanya, I think it's your connection. I don't think anybody else is having issues. I think it's good on my side here. Okay? So in this sentence, if I have time, I'll stop for groceries, right? As we talked about 2 weeks ago, Omar, you want me to pick up some camel milk for you at the store? Okay. Yeah, if you could buy camel milk in Canada, I would try it for sure. All right, second conditional. So this is first, right? This is talking about a possible future. This is a real possibility. It's possible, right? Am I going to stop at the store? Am I going to have time? Maybe, maybe not. We don't know. I don't know. We will have to see. I don't know what will happen to me today, but I will stop if I have time. Okay? Asala, it's okay if you're a little bit late. Don't worry about it. Okay? So that's the first conditional. We're talking about real future possibilities and probabilities, things that are possible to happen, right? But they might not happen. The first conditional rules, yeah, I love the first conditional. Yeah, so this is first. Now, this, on the other hand, if I had time, I would stop for groceries on the way home. This is the second conditional. Yeah, no, I've never seen camel milk in Canada, sadly. Yeah. But as I said, I'm going to Saudi Arabia next week, right? So would you recommend that I try camel milk, Omar? Is that what you're telling me to do? I'll try anything once. All right. So if I had time, I would stop for groceries on the way home. Second conditional. If plus past simple, and then you've got would plus the base form. Relax, JB87, you're not that late. Okay, so, and Rose is already a little bit ahead of me here. This is good. She knows where I'm heading. With this sentence, the second conditional, it's hypothetical, okay? It's not real because it sounds like it's unlikely. What this sentence means to me, it sounds like I don't think I have time, right? If I said if I had time, I would stop by the store, I'm saying I don't have time. I can't stop for groceries. If I had time, I would. Okay? Right, in Rosa Casillero, this sentence is not talking about the past. This is me talking right now. I don't know why I'm doing this. I could just pick up my phone like this, and I can be talking to someone and say, no, I can't. If I had time, I would stop for groceries, but I'm running late. I don't have a watch, but I'm looking at it. I don't have time. I can't get groceries now. I don't have time. Okay? There will be a lesson next week, Jerry. Yeah, I'm not gone until the week after next, okay? I know I said next week, but yeah, don't worry. I'm here next week. All right, so if I had time, I don't think I have time. And French Leo just nailed it here in the chat, okay? He said, wow, the difference in meaning is tiny. It depends only on what you think. And that is exactly right. And that is exactly, I love it when things come together, you know, it's perfect, it's amazing. Because what we are talking about today is perspective, right? We're talking about the way you think about a situation, the way you feel about it, or your view towards the situation or the idea will determine if you use first or second conditional. Okay? First or second conditional sometimes depends on how you think of the situation. Rosa, I'm not sure what you mean. It's a negative answer? Well, okay. You're going back here. It could be a negative answer, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later. I know we touched on that last week. So this could, Rosa, be a negative answer. Yeah, if someone says, hey, can you stop, can you buy some milk on the way, can you buy camel milk on the way home? And I say, if I had time, I would. That could be a negative answer, right? So perspective, view, it's the way you see something. Is it possible or is it impossible? Is it likely or is it unlikely? Yeah, cool. It's not a regret. It's not a regret because, again, regret is usually looking backwards, right? This is talking about now. I mean, you can feel bad about it, but it's not necessarily a regret. Right? I know, and that's, Abdul, that's the tricky thing about translation is sometimes you get a different meaning when you translate. Okay. John, what does that emoji indicate? Thought? Okay, so let me explain. The lottery, okay? Scratching lottery tickets. Oh, and this is very Canadian. This is even the Canadian money that he's using. Scratching those lottery tickets. Peter Petrov is here. Good. Rosa, does it depend on the current circumstances? It can, because circumstances can influence the way you feel about something, right? So, I mean, this lottery ticket, scratching lottery tickets, if you think about a person's perspective of possibility when it comes to the lottery, check out this lady here. Here's, I don't know, Sally, okay? Sally, this is what she says. If I win the lottery, tonight's lottery draw is $20 million. And she says, if I win the lottery, I'll buy a new house. If I win the lottery, I'll buy a new house. So she's using the first conditional, right? She's speaking in the first conditional because it sounds like when she's using that first conditional that she believes in the possibility. She acknowledges that it is possible that she is going to win the lottery. Right, and exactly, French Leo. And this is exactly right, because Omar's in there saying lotteries are a huge ripoff, right? So he doesn't think she's going to win, right? Maybe Omar's a pessimist. Maybe he's a realist, right? Time will tell. Maybe she'll hit the jackpot, right? And she'll win big, and she'll be laughing at all of us, right? And GRE, exactly right. So she thinks this is a possibility. And she probably has a lottery ticket, right? She's got this ticket in her hand, right? And she thinks, if I win, I'll buy a new house, right? She believes in the possibility. Now, I don't want to squash her dreams or anything, right? But a lot of people would disagree with that, and as Omar said, and think that lotteries are, a bit of a waste of money. Zayed says, if I was, well, it's common in spoken English, but technically it should be if I were. Zayed. Nilifer Karate, if I had won the lottery, I wouldn't live in Turkey. So that's mixed conditional, which is a really good sentence. We're not going to talk about that today, though. That's a good one. So she believes, right? She's got the hope in the possibility of winning. Now let's compare that to this person, okay? And she says, if I won the lottery, I'd buy a new house. If I won the lottery, I'd buy a new house. Now when we use the second conditional, it suggests, when you're using that past tense to show hypothetical second conditional, it suggests that she does not believe it's possible, right? She doesn't believe it's possible, or she thinks it's very unlikely. She is not expecting to win the lottery. She doesn't think it's real. Akram MD is saying, chance of winning the lottery with a single ticket is 1 in 175 million. Ooh, I like those odds. Let's play. All right. Nitesh is saying, if you don't get along with your partner, why are you living with him? Right. Yeah, good. That's a good sentence. That's correct. Yeah, right. That's right, French Leo. Good. Okay. So that's what I'm talking about here. That's the difference. Let me show you one other example. She says to her friend, if he asks, what will you say? Right? If he asks, what will you say? Ooh, I wonder what the question is. Yeah? Is he going to pop the question? Yes. How do I say your 7N Duda? 7N Duda? Says it's a wish. It's kind of like a wish. Yeah, right. But this sentence, if he asks, what will you say? I do. She is expecting the possibility, the real possibility that he, whoever he is, will ask something of her friend, right? Nice one. Yeah? So real possibility, she is expecting him to ask. If he asks, what will you say? So, I really think he's going to ask me tonight. Oh, what are you going to say? She will say, I'm still available. Marry me? Yeah? Sure. Right? So, again, you're using this first conditional because you're treating it like it's a real possibility. In contrast, if he asked, what would you say? Right? And Rosa, yeah, you're right in step with me here. You're right next to me with this one. If he asked, using that past tense verb to show hypothetical present, or in this case, hypothetical future. Oh, you're going to see him tonight? Well, if he asked, what would you say? It suggests that she is not expecting him to ask. This is just, we're just thinking, we're just talking, right? This isn't real. This is unlikely to happen soon, right? This guy has given no signs that he's going to ask her anything. If Shaun makes a joke, will you laugh? If Shaun makes a joke, Shaun will laugh. All right, that's for sure. At least one person. And that's all that matters to me. Yeah? And Swade, you're exactly right. Unlikely, right? If he asked, what would you say? What would you say? She will say, I wish I had some spare money. I would say no. Yeah, right. Good. Yeah, you guys are right along with me. Cool. This is awesome. Okay, so getting back to my original second conditional here, as I said, it's about perspective. So if I'm on the phone and I say, listen, I can't get groceries. If I had time, I would stop for groceries, right? That means I don't think I have time. But the person I'm speaking to might disagree and say, of course you have time. You've got 20 minutes. Like, oh, yeah, okay, right? So I might say, if I had time, I would stop because I don't think I have time. But someone else might think I have lots of time, right? So it's about perspective. Manish Seth saying, hi, hello. If you follow me, I will show you the restroom. That's a good sentence. Yeah, that's a good one, a handy one. Comes in handy. Yeah, Donna, that's fine. Yeah. Okay. So practice. Let me go over here to my notes. All right. This is good. Now let's start. Let's start really simply. Now I'm going to go through this first part with you guys, and then I'm going to tell you what I would like you to do. Okay? Now, the scent is asking about mixed conditionals. Well, I can't do mixed conditionals, and again, I can do them. But we're not going to talk about them today. Mixed conditionals is a little bit more advanced. But I have done a class on mixed conditionals. There's a whole video, a whole class that's just on mixed conditionals in the playlist, guys. So check that out if you want to learn about the mixed conditionals. Okay, I will probably talk about it again in the future, and if I do, I will let you know. First conditional. Okay, so here I've got 6 sentences, and I want you to decide, just on your own, in your own opinion, I want you to decide the likelihood, the possibility of these things being true. So let's just go through them together. The first one says, you see a ghost in your bedroom tonight. Okay, you see a ghost in your bedroom tonight. I am going to say, for me, I'm going to consider that impossible, right? Impossible. I'm not a believer in ghosts. That might be a problem for me someday if a ghost were to visit me, but currently I'm not a believer in ghosts. Okay? So if you believe it, if you think it's possible that you might see a ghost in your bedroom tonight, maybe you saw one last night and you think you might see one tonight, for you it's possible, right? It snows this week. It snows this week. Now it's almost April in Vancouver. It's not impossible, but I'm going to say that I think, for me anyway, that this is very unlikely that it's going to snow. Unlikely for Victor as well. Yeah. Again, for some of you, in parts of Canada, it's still snowy, I would say, so it's maybe possible. It wasn't that long ago that we had snow here. Okay? You become president of your country. Now, some of you it's possible, some of you it's unlikely. For me, this is impossible that I become the president of my country. And it's not because I have a low self-esteem, it's because Canada does not have a president. My country does not have a president, so at this point, it is impossible for me to become the president of this. Maybe I'll become the president of your country. Would you vote for me? All right, 3 more. You aren't busy tonight. What's the possibility that you are not busy tonight? For me, I'm saying that's very possible that I'm not going to be busy tonight. As soon as the kids are in bed, I'm not going to be busy at all. I'm not going to be doing much. That's for sure. Okay. All right, and E, you spend time with your friends this weekend. Possible. For me, again, it's important for me to say this depends on you, right? Maybe it's impossible for you to spend time with your friends this weekend because you've got a lot of schoolwork to do, or you're working, or you're going in for surgery or something, or you're going away, you're leaving the city, you're going on holiday. The kids, JB87, 3 kids. Yeah. 3's enough. And F, your computer stops working today. Right? Now again, this is entirely up to you. This could be unlikely, possible. For me, I'm going to say it's unlikely. I've never had problems with my computer, so I'm going to say, for me, the computer stops working today is unlikely. Okay. And F, you hope not. Yeah, I hope not. This is good. Yeah, 3 kids, I do have my hands full. If I had more than 3 kids, I would not have time for this class or for anything else, I think. Second conditional, okay? All right, so this is what I'd like you guys to do now. This is good. Now that you've looked through the statements, the sentences, and decided if it's likely, if it's possible, if it's impossible, I want you to write a question in the conditional form that you could ask somebody, okay? I want you to ask a question using this information based on how likely or unlikely you think it is to happen, okay? So Bushra, that's good that you're making the sentence. That's perfect. But how about, last week we were practicing making sentences. How about let's try making questions instead. So the first one for me, I would say, what would you do? What would you do if you saw a ghost in your bedroom tonight? Right? What would you do? I'm going to read my sentence carefully because sometimes I go too fast, as you guys know, and make typos. What would you do if you saw a ghost in your bedroom tonight? Okay? Or you could say anything. Would you call the Ghostbusters if you saw a ghost in your bedroom tonight? Who would you call, right? Who are you going to call? If you see if you saw a ghost, who would you call? That's good. Okay, so how about this, guys? Take a couple minutes. You're already started. This is perfect. I'm going to leave the screen for a minute. I'm gonna disappear. I'm gonna pop off, like pop, right? And then I'll come back, you've got 5 questions that I would like you to write for me, okay? Based on your opinion of likelihood or not. It could be first, it could be second conditional. It's your choice, okay? I'm going to put the monkey music on, and I'm going to sip my coffee and relax, okay? I'm out of here. Good stuff, guys. All right. Good, 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 good. So much stuff coming in. All right. Just remember next time, try to put the letter next to the answer, so that I can find them easily for you. Okay, so that I can find your answers. So we did the first one together. Okay. Now B, it snows this week. Now, again, this really depends on where you are and what the weather's like. Right? Because for some of you it says maybe it's possible, unlikely, some maybe impossible, although I don't know if you can ever really count on that and being completely impossible. Rosa said, where would you go if it snowed this week? That's good. Good, good, good. Let me see another one. So Melina says, Milena says, if it snows this week, will you come to my home or not? Right? Good. So that means to me, Milena, that you think it's possible that it's going to snow this week, right? Is it? It's possible? Yeah. Okay. Now, for other people, I think they said they kind of wrote sentences that suggest it's not. It's not possible. Now, Eugene B, be careful of that because you've got both in there. You said, would you get angry if it will snow this week? Get that will out of there, okay, and then it would be good. I would say if it snowed, because you've got would. And Chaminda says, would you go to the park if it snowed this week or weekend? Either one, right? If it snowed this weekend. So clearly two different perspectives, right? Milena thinks it's possible that it will snow. Chaminda says there's no way, or it's very unlikely. Cool. Good. You become president of your country. Okay, so maybe some of you have political ambition. I'm not sure. Yeah? Maybe you want to change the world. We had some very interesting sentences coming out for this one. I think Suede said, she said, capitalize that. What would your first executive, order be if you became president? Here. I'm going to make that a little bit bigger. Not quite so big. There we go. And question mark, right? So what would your first executive order be if you became president? I don't know, casual Fridays? I'm not sure. My first executive order would be, pajama Fridays, maybe. I don't know, Pancake Tuesday. I don't know what my first executive order would be. That's a good question, though. Now, Aaron says, if you became president of your country, would you give a seat in parliament? Yeah, sure. Good one. Very good. Okay, where's my chat at here? Good, good, good. Okay. Now, what about D? You aren't busy tonight. JB87, yeah, I saw your controversial one. Yeah. Yeah. All right, so what about D? What am I looking for here? French Leo. What will you do? Let's say, what will you do tonight? Good one. Drape my dress. Interesting. Yeah. 7N Duda says, if I became president of Canada, I would give my people 3-day weekends. Well, you got my vote for president of Canada. Yeah. Good. Yeah, okay, so GRE, you've got one. Real simple, and that's good. So it's what will you do? What will you do if you are not busy tonight, right? What will you do if you are not busy tonight? Excellent question, right? Read a book, watch a movie, Netflix. All right, good stuff. Rosa, that's a good one. Okay, so what about E? You spend time with your friends this weekend. Where's the friends? I'm looking for E. Okay, now JB87, I'm going to use yours, just because I'm going to point out a little issue there with it. Okay, so would you spend time with your friends? All right, would you spend time with your friends this weekend? Now you said if you arrive on time. Now be careful with that one. This is good. But be careful because here you've got would you, and then over here you've got present. Okay? So if you're using would over here and you think it's unlikely or impossible, you would want if you arrived on time, right? You want that to be past tense. And that would mean you think it's unlikely or impossible. If you think it's possible, right, then you would want to change this to will you spend time with your friends this weekend if you, then you can take the D away and say if you arrive on time. Bushra, yeah, you were that, yeah, right. I don't think that was meant in offense, Bushra. Yeah, just talking about the politics of the day. If you are not busy, will you assist me with my homework? That's a good one, Nitesh. Okay. So what about F? Give me one more. Yeah, Victor. Victor's got one. Would you smash your computer if it stopped working right now? You said right now? All right. Would you smash your computer if it stopped working right now? And the answer is yes, I would. If my computer, right now, if my computer stopped working, I would take it up to the roof and I'd throw it off. 5th floor. Raul says, how many hairs would you pull off if your PC stopped working today? That's a good one. Good. Now, Abdul is saying he has arrived at the conclusion that that you need to unlearn the second conditional. Well, there are still elements of the second conditional that you have learned that I'm sure you do not have to unlearn, right? But this is just a different way of thinking about it, right? But it is important to remember that it's about perspective. It's about how you see the situation, right? And Yasmina, that's a really good one for the last one. If my computer stops working, oh, careful though, because there you've got first and second together. So how about if my computer stopped working, how would I manage the seminar? Good. Good, 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 guys. Okay, so we have a couple more minutes before we get to the mistake of the week. I can't go over time today because, again, I'm teaching another class, 10:20, downstairs here in Vancouver. But the one thing that we talked about last week, but we didn't really get any practice with it, was talking about the really useful way to use the second conditional in a very big difference between first and second conditional. Floyd is leaving. Okay, see you next time, Floyd. Okay. So the second conditional is a really good way to say no without saying no, right? Last week we were talking about the opposite of the truth, right? To mean no. This very common expression, I would if I could, right? A very short second conditional statement that really means I can't, right? No. So someone says, can you lend me money? I would if I could, as we said last week, equals no, I can't. Right? No, I can't. Right, good one, Manish. Good. Yeah, see, lots of good second conditionals coming in here, right? So, if I would if I could. So, maybe just to show you here, we don't have a lot of time, but what I'm talking about is if you have these questions, if people ask you these questions and you want to say no. Milena, you're asking how Mark? Mark is really good. I saw Mark on Saturday. We hung out together, and he left to move to another town, but he is doing very well. Yeah? I'll tell him you asked. I'm sure you'll talk to him online too, but he's doing good. Okay, so the answer is no. Can you give me a ride to the airport? Right? Can you give me a ride to the airport? As I said before, an easy answer to it would be, I would if I could. And that means no, I can't, unfortunately. Or Yasmina says, I wish I could. Right? I wish I could means no. I would if I could. Now you could give more information, like we talked about last week. I would if my car weren't in the shop. Can you give me a ride to the airport? Oh, I would if my car weren't in the shop. The shop meaning the mechanic, right? So a really good way of saying no. Asala said, I'd rather be a hammer than a nail. Yes, I would if I could. Yeah, it's a good song for conditionals. Right. Or will you come to the party tonight? Again, you say, I would, oh, that one's blue. I would if I didn't have all of this homework to do. Right? I would if I didn't have all this homework to do. Again, meaning no. Honestly, for all of these questions, you could just say, I would if I could. Can I borrow some money? Well, not so much that one. That's about you, right? But will you marry me? I would if I could. I would if I could. Now, sent, okay, yeah. One thing I'll tell you for the sent says, I would if I weren't, you said broken. Now be careful with that one. Broken, if you say a person is broken, it means like your spirit, your heart is broken. You are a broken man or woman. So just take that N off and say, if I weren't broke. Can I borrow some money? I would lend you some. I would lend you some if I weren't broke. And Yasmina, the same thing, right? I would be broken. Broken is more about like if you have a job that slowly beats you down into an empty shell of a human, then you are broken. Broke. Yeah. It's better to be broke than broken. That's my wise advice for the day. Chaminda saying, yeah, I would if I had any extra money at the moment. That's great. Right, I would if I could. I will if possible. That's right. Right, so of course, will you marry me? Obviously, lots of interesting answers that you could come up with for that one. I would if I could, right? As you said, I would if I could. Navjot says, I would if I were single. Still, maybe not the best thing to say, right? Maybe I would if I wasn't already happily married. You could say that, right? Yeah, let me go full screen here. So maybe that. I would if I weren't already very happily married. Okay, maybe that's a nice one. I would if I was a girl. Okay. I would marry you if my wife allowed me to. The scent, I would if I didn't love someone else. Oh, wow. Excuse me for a moment. Yeah, nice one. Yeah, these are good. So as I said, second conditional is really good. You guys are funny. I would rather not. Will you marry me? I would rather not, Victor says. Yeah. All right. Yeah, it's too much. Okay, so this is good. We're not completely done with the conditionals. There's so much to talk about with conditionals, third conditional and mixed conditionals and zero conditionals and all of those different things. We can't talk about them all yet, all right? We will get to them eventually. Steve Lynn, you like my answers? Yeah, right. Okay, so how about this? Let's move away from the second conditional because we're almost out of time. But of course, we do have time, as always, for everybody's favorite part of the day, the mistake of the week, right? The mistake of the week. It's time. Once again. Okay. So if you're new here, if this is your first class, this is what I like to do to put you to the test. I like to put a common English mistake, right? A common mistake that English language students make at all levels. And I want you guys to look at the sentence and see if you can spot the mistake. If you see the mistake, put your answer in the chat. If you're the first person to do it, you are the winner, you are the champion. Saying hang on. Yeah, if you're the first, then you're the first. You've got bragging rights. You can tell all your friends that you are super smart. All right, I got to stop paying attention to the chat here. Right, so spot the mistake. I will leave the screen for about 5 seconds or so, maybe a little bit longer if it takes you a minute to find the mistake, or maybe less if you guys get it like that. Okay, so hope your mind is sharp and you're ready. Here is the sentence. Find me the mistake, and I'll be back momentarily. Go to it. Wow, wow, wow. Victor the victor again, I think. Fastest fingers in the world. Good for you. Victor got it. Jerry came in just after him. I think Trey was on the hunt there. Then Rosa, Yasmina, Nora, Vivek. Vivek, you didn't get it this week, but maybe next time. Yeah, Raul, lots of people. Yeah, Sent. Good. All right, so as some of you guys know, if you've been around long enough, I like to try to trick you. Okay, so I like to put a sentence up there that looks like it's testing your knowledge of the conditionals. If he marries with his girlfriend in the summer, they will have an outdoor wedding. But some of you are on to my tricks. You know me too well now, right? That there's no problem with the conditional in this sentence, right? If he marries, they will have an outdoor wedding. That sounds nice. That sounds nice, right? And it doesn't have to be, now JB87, exactly, I'm trying to trick you there. If you said if he married, they would have, that would be fine too. As we just talked about, it depends on your perspective on if you expect it to happen or not. Is it likely? Is it unlikely? Right? But no, the mistake is much simpler than that, but a very common mistake at that. Vivek, third rank. Yeah, better luck next time. You gotta be fast to keep up with Victor. All right. So if he marries, the problem is that guy right there, that little guy. The preposition with. If he marries with his girlfriend in the summer, a common mistake that students make is to put the preposition with after the verb marry. But marry is that transitive verb that goes directly to the object, right? You don't have to say marry with me, right? Will you marry with me? No, will you marry me? So with marry, get that with out of there and just say, if he marries his girlfriend in the summer, right, they will have an outdoor wedding. Okay, and now even with the adjective, some people say, is he married with her? Is he married with her? Probably more common to say, is he married to her as the adjective. Well, you can say by, but if you say married by someone, that means the church, the person who actually legally makes you the winner. Jerry, you said you're the winner? Yeah, Jerry, I think you were close, but I'm pretty sure unless Victor took his answer away, you were super close. Yeah, next time, Jerry, though. You were close. All right. But that's fine. So just watch your use of the word with there. Don't put it after the verb marry. Okay? So that's all the time we have for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed yourself. I always enjoy myself. Let me pop out to the green screen here. And Vivek, no, you wouldn't say if he marries to his girlfriend. No. I'm saying, is he married to, with a D on it, okay? But not with the verb. Your video is 10 second delay? So yeah, no, Vivek. You don't say, is he married? Well, with the verb, if he marries his girlfriend. No to, no with, none of that. Okay. So guys, yeah, I got to run. It's always a pleasure to jump in here and teach you guys. It's a fun way to end the week, to wrap things up. Okay. You're too late, but that's okay. Next time. All right. So thanks for joining. It's always a pleasure, as I said, and keep coming back. I'm here next week, next Friday, same time, and then we've got the other classes. Of course, you've got Josh and Neil and Abby. All right, so keep on checking out their videos and their classes. Keep putting your questions on Facebook, and keep telling your friends about this class, right? And we'll see you here next time. So have a good weekend. Have a good week. Keep practicing your English. Keep using those conditionals, and we'll see you next time, guys. Okay? Until then, bye-bye. Hi, everyone. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe to our channel. Also, if you want the full experience of being a student in a Smrt Live class with things like homework and teacher feedback, follow the link and become a premium subscriber. Also, if you want to see more videos from this class, check out our playlist.